Well, hello there, everyone. Here, show you right here is like the Matthew McGuire. The score 95.85, and this right here will be like say kind of like a example right here of like a grade report, and knowing about that anything that we try to achieve, and as well as for our goals while we're in school. And on your hand that you see right here is I went ahead and worked right here is that with it these the documents right here, and like for InDesign, that working right here is this right here will be a photograph of me. It would have been from my sophomore year. So I was just like thinking about going through some pictures, and this one right here could have used a little bit more work. So I worked that in Photoshop, and it seems like you'll be a little bit more clear now. And you have right here is like with me or from Matthew McGuire, and as well as you're from Matthew McGuire, and as well as the score right here. And I know any students that may say that a lot of times that they are you'll get pretty nervous whenever that they are looking at the final scores. And for any type of improvement, though, that any student that may want to, like on a portfolio, putting together a portfolio that we're like wanting to work, and a lot of the other help or assistance that we were getting in, in classes, and as well as for the courses and stuff like that that we were taking, from whenever we started, and then from the time we graduate, and you're like wanting to work that a few things that more likely have improved and what has changed, that type of stuff. But on your hand that you have right here is that with this right here, it'll be like for test ready, or the hours of the student that's using for the time of their goals, for studying for the subject, they I'm like, yeah, that you do some corrections here. I'm like, but anyway, but for they can call interesting. A score from 1 to 21 can be good, and at knowing we tried our best to in writing it. And I can also include it's like for for working our time for what we can what we can show for what and then I can also put for what is being recorded. So what is being recorded, I can go ahead and right here, I can go ahead and move that just down just a little bit more. But time for being recorded. But on your hand that you see right here is that time being recorded. But anyway, but you see right here is I went and put together right here is like these right here. Move that down just a little bit. But you can see right here, working right here with InDesign. But anyway, there you have like working the time recording, as well as for the this other writing is like. But on your hand that any type of editing that we may want to put on like a portfolio, as well as like with the history though, and then have right here it's like for the license, for the professional, it's like for the license as well. Talk about it's like 20 years or so of completion of the course, and then plus with the 8 to 10 years of experience. And then right here will be like example right here of a test, like a quiz, to where what this where right here be example right here of like a question as to where what is the basic file type that is supported for most Macintosh and PC operating systems. And like one like for like Macintosh or Apple products or something like that. But on your hand at so like 50 questions, a lot of times most tests would say that like they contain about up to 50 questions. So like we're tour that anything that we're working on, and it's like they're being tested though. It's like about on average about the time limit is about between 90 minutes to about 190 minutes or so, up to 2 hours maybe. That some tests that they say they ask you about 50 questions, and some tests, they say that they'll give you 2 hours to go through it, and then question to question and type the best answer, that type of stuff. So, and I know that a lot of the online tests that they have it to where that they would be testing you to do would be like a tab right here to say click next or proceed, and then go to the next. So you don't really have like say they have pages, but then on your hand that when we're given a test a lot of times, well, we're probably we may be used to that you flip from page to page, and if somebody were to give you a test and then you kind of count about how many pages it is, and sometimes, especially if it's going to be front and back, and anybody will more likely say the front and back pages usually that seems like it's more work. Oh well, that's like, but on the other hand, it seems like to where that whenever you're looking at the test and then think about all that more work, but then whenever we look at a small portion of it, such as that if you kind of look at the test and take a few seconds, about 30 seconds, just to kind of review it and knowing about do you remember the answer to this or that. So whenever we are looking at this, like the test right here, you have right here is a test, and then thinking about after we take the test and understanding about well, it is just to pass the test as well. So just kind of showing about a little bit our improvements about the best we know how for what we can remember, as well as like the history, and as well as for like the goals and anything that we talked about is like for like for what we were thinking about, like for the things that we want to set our mind for. But a lot of times the way I think about it though, some students may say there's a difference between, I guess, for really about what you want to plan, for what you want to learn compared to what's required to learn, especially. But on the other hand, that these right here will be examples right here of like, for like a student, that this is what they mention about while they're going to school. These are the plans for what you like to do until you get into your sophomore year or your freshman year or so, and then you're like wanting to where, oh yeah, the score maybe wasn't so great, but you still passed. But on your hand, at that, looking at some of this stuff right here, especially my photo right here, is that this right here will be not a painting but an actual photo, and I'm like, yeah, that if I can remember right, this was like on my on my class student ID to where that while I was working this and thinking about to where that looking at that and thinking about is to where a lot of things have improved. And I know that I did not have all that facial hair either. So anybody that may want to where that they look at some of the newest photos and they're like warrant to where that any photo that more likely that's not going to have all that facial hair, if you're going to know about it, if you're going to recognize me or not. So anybody say, yeah, we're looking at these right here, looking at all that facial hair right there. Just the way that the cap and gown were aligned, especially whenever you did graduate, and just thinking about what your signature, what your handwriting looked like back then too. So think about it to where that from the score from 95.85, and you're like Warren to where that whenever these test results readings right here is that this more likely may not have been my score for each and every class. I could probably say that each and every class that I may have gotten about maybe uh, you know uh, 75.91, something like that. And then they may say, where does this usually score on it? But then on your hand, that I would probably say that's that would be right around an A, but then like a 97.81 or something like that, a 97.93 or something like that would be like something like an A plus, something like that. But then A minus, I guess A minus is good too. But on your hand, I'm sure a lot of students would probably say the scores a lot of times, like a 95.85% is something that they really like to see something on average, above, an A, if like you say if it's going to be for my master's degree. But other than that, talk about right here is like with the quiz right here. Study smart. Thanks for watching. Man Made 25. Have a great day.